So today I'm going to be answering all your beauty business questions while I'm riding on the golf cart. So my name is Jake Randolph. I've helped thousands of beauty businesses grow since 2017. And yeah, this is one of the things I do typically every day, just drive my golf cart around my neighborhood. Recently moved to Florida, and I was like, well, why don't I kill two birds with one stone? I can answer you guys' marketing questions while I'm also riding around. I'm joined by my brand manager, Kylie. She's going to be reading the questions that we got from you guys on Facebook yesterday. So Kylie, what's the first question we got?
Okay, first question from Risa. How to reach a new demographic? For example, many of my clients are a certain age and I would like to reach different age groups of people. How might you go about doing that?
Okay, so she's basically trying to reach a different demographic than she's used to. To me, it's all about, like, what are you posting? Like, what's going to attract? So let's say that right now your demographic is people in their 60s and you want to attract people in their 20s. Well, what's going to attract somebody in their 20s? Maybe actual, like, because I know Reese is a permanent makeup artist, so maybe actual pictures, like before and afters of, younger people. And if you don't have any right now, that's where I would probably either reach out to some or, maybe even do a model call, say, hey, I'm looking for models, and I don't know if you're technically allowed to say, like, in their 20s or something, but you can kind of handpick who you want to get. So you can, basically say, like, hey, I'm looking for models in, you're going to get a highly discounted service. I just need to build my portfolio up for this, specific demographic. And then that way you can actually have, people in their 20s, like on your Facebook, on your Instagram, and that's going to help, we call it social proof. It's like, if Kylie, who's in her 20s, if she sees a business and it's all like, people that are 50 plus, then she might not think it's for her. And so just having those pictures of other people in the same demographic are going to give that social proof enough where you'll, attract more in that. And then part two would be ads. And so did you know in ads you can actually, like whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc., you can actually target that specific age range. And so you can take one of the model pictures that you got, and then you can run that as an ad to people age 20 to 30 or 18 to 25, whatever demographic you're looking for, and that way it's highly specific and targeted on ads. So I hope that helps. What's the next question?
Next question is from Gracie. She's asking, I need advice on what to do in my slower months, backup plans for permanent makeup.
Yeah, so especially in permanent makeup, and I'm sure in all services that it depends on the season, but you're going to have slower months and faster months. I think number one, the key is consistency. And so a lot of people are tempted to be like, oh, well, it's summer, it's slow, so I should slow down my ad spend or lower my ad spend. It's actually the opposite. If you're going to be slow, or it's typically a slow season, or whatever, keep up your ad spend, because what is that going to do? It's going to reach more people, more potential customers, and you're less likely to be slow. And so definitely up the ad spend if you think you're going to be approaching a slow season. So for all of you use a calendar and stuff. Look at your calendar, and I even do this with my Airbnbs. Look at your calendar and say, like, okay, it looks like, June's going to be slower, July, like I don't have that many bookings for this month. Maybe I should think about doing a giveaway. Maybe I should think about doing a promo. Maybe do, and put some ad spend behind all that. So if you do a giveaway, actually run ads in your local area. So, and then I think Gracie's second question was, what...
She said, I would also like to hear some positive reinforcement about how this is a reliable career for us.
Okay. So the way I look at it is like, yes, we are in a less great economy than we were a couple years ago or a few years ago. I guess a few years ago was, the pandemic, so maybe not. But anyways, the economy is struggling right now. But the good thing is there's always been Louis Vuittons, there's always been Gucci, there's always been all these name brands in every single economy, whether it's a down economy, a pandemic, etc. Those brands lasted. Why? Because they stay consistent to their marketing and they stay consistent with advertising. And so I do think that, whether it's permanent makeup or any other beauty service, it can definitely be a long-term thing. People are, here's my thing, people are always going to need beauty service. People always want to look good. So I don't think, yeah, I mean, yeah, there are going to be certain times when you might have more competition, but that's why you follow the marketing advice and stuff that we teach, to stand out from them.
Next question from Maria. I would love to hear about how to look for audiences when creating ads that work best for PMU. And then her next question was, what strategies are best when making the first contact with potential clients?
Okay, so as far as the audience question goes for advertising, when I'm looking at a good ad campaign or setting up an ad campaign, the first thing I think about is like, okay, who am I trying to reach? What are their pain points? What are their struggles? What are they thinking about on a daily basis? And one of my favorite quotes that I've ever come up with is and I think I actually stole it from somebody, I just don't remember who. I don't remember where I heard it. I didn't steal it, I just heard it somewhere. But, the quote is, continue the conversation already going on in their head. And so what does that mean? Like, think about what kind of thoughts and conversations they're already happening in their head and just try to pick that up. And so think about it. People are just scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through Instagram, etc. What's going to really capture their attention is probably the things that have already been fresh on their mind. So like, for example, if they've been thinking about pizza and they see a pizza ad, they're more likely to be like, oh yeah, that looks good, I'm going to click on it. That was a weird example, but I was just thinking of it on the top of my head. So what was the other question?
Yeah, what strategies are best when making the first contact with potential clients?
Okay, I'm going to go back because I remember the other question was about audience and targeting, and I get this question a lot. So long story short, when I do an advertising campaign and I'm thinking about like, okay, these are the pain points, these are all that, that's where I'm going to like really focus on like, okay, with the video or the content and then the wording. Those are the things that are really going to attract people. That's what they see on there. And so it's less about targeting a specific person. Facebook has really narrowed down their targeting options, and so there's not a ton of options like there used to be. In fact, long story short, like, you just make sure the wording speaks to that person that you're trying to target, and that's going to be your best bet for finding the right people. Okay,
the next question's from Roger. How to make sure you're marketing to the clients you want to attract. For example, if your promotion is a special, you feel that you could contact less valuable clients that are always expecting a deal and cheaping your brand. Should you post promotions? If so, why? And if not, why not? Does it matter how you promote? Should it be Facebook, Google, TikTok? And what does each one have to offer? And then what markets you consider outside of social media?
Okay, that's like 3 questions in one. But I guess what I heard from that was, should I run promos? That's a question I get a lot. So because, the main concern obviously is you run a discount, you run a promo, then you're only attracting people who want a discount or a good deal. Well, let me give you guys a tip. There is some truth to that, and I'll try to clarify that, but everybody wants to feel like they're getting a good deal. Like, for the most part, unless they're just buying it unless they're just buying like a Lamborghini for ego purposes and they want the most expensive thing, everybody wants a good deal. Like, I'm not struggling for money, and I still look for good deals all the time. Like, one of my favorite apps to check is Slick Deals, and I just look on there and see like, okay, what kind of deal can I get today? Sometimes it's fun because you get that dopamine rush. And so just because someone's asking if you're doing any promos or asking for a deal doesn't mean they don't have money. It doesn't mean they're not going to spend with you. Maybe they're just, like I said, just shopping around. But should you do promos? Yes and no. So yes, I like doing promos sometimes if you need it to get booked up. And when I say promos, I'm talking about offers. And so what is an offer? Without going too in depth with it, it's basically showing people what you offer and the value you provide and what is included with your services. And then obviously at some point they're going to have to exchange money for that. So if what you offer, you can say is normally a $500 value and they're paying $400 for it, if you can communicate that clearly, they feel like they're saving $100, whether that's your normal price or not. And so I do think building offers is very important. I think we have like a $7 webinar on how to build a perfect offer. If you guys are interested, just comment below and I'll get you the link for that. But yeah, that's like a whole 2-hour class. I don't have time to cover all that. But yes, I do like strategic promos. Now, what I don't like, so listen up and take notes here. What I don't like is looking at Instagram and seeing like, oh, $100 off here, $100 off here, $20 off. Like, basically doing too many promos and discounts on your actual news feed, because what is that? Like, if I go to your news feed and I see a bunch of discounts and sales, that does make you look desperate. So it makes you look desperate. And then you're never going to be able to get to full price because all your current customer or everybody that looks at your business is going to be like, oh, well, you ran that promo last month or you ran that promo last week. Can you honor it for me? Can you do the same discount for me? And that's what you're going to run into. And so my biggest recommendation for that is don't post promos and discounts on your news feed. So like your Instagram news feed, your Facebook news feed. If you're going to run a promo, do it on the back end through paid advertising. And if you don't know how to set that up, I'd be happy to jump on a call with you. Just comment below or reach out to us in the links below. But yeah, definitely run, if you're going to do an offer or a promo, run it in the background. So that can be through paid ads. It can be through email marketing. Just curious here, who here is doing email marketing right now? Type below, yes, I'm doing email marketing, or no, I don't know how to do email marketing. If that's a big enough topic, I'll do a full tutorial on that in the future. But yeah, so basically when I say back end, paid advertising, email marketing, text message marketing, anything where you can reach out to people directly without everybody else seeing it. So I don't like to use the term backdoor deals, but basically a backdoor deal, so that's how you do promos, is strategically without necessarily broadcasting it to everybody 24/7.
Doesn't matter how you promote. Should it be Facebook, Google, TikTok? And what does each have to offer?
Okay. So yeah, all those platforms that you mentioned, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, are all very popular, obviously. And so just think about where's my audience? Because to me, I don't romanticize the platform. Like if the freaking newspaper is popular again in 10 years, that's where I'll be advertising. It's all about where the attention is. Where are the people? And right now the people are on Facebook, Instagram, and a lot more people are on TikTok now. And so definitely focus on those three platforms, and YouTube. YouTube is a big one that a lot of you guys miss because, YouTube is owned by Google. And so without going on a tangent there, you definitely need to get your stuff on YouTube. And it's not that hard. It takes 5 minutes to set up a profile. You can upload videos from your phone, put a description. It's pretty dang easy. But the difference is, instead of getting those instant likes and instant gratification, like you do on social media, it's more of okay, if someone's searching for my services even a year from now, I might show up on Google. And so it's actually really helpful. I've ranked some, I've started businesses in multiple industries, and I've ranked some websites pretty quickly and some YouTube videos pretty quickly just by getting the videos up on YouTube. So I definitely recommend that. Sweet. What's the next question?
From him, he says, what markets should you consider outside of social media?
I'm a digital advertiser, and so that's not really my forte. However, like I said, if people were loving newspapers again in 10 years, I'm going to be in the newspaper. I'll become a newspaper marketer. But everybody's on their phone. Nobody gives a crap about TV commercials. Nobody gives a crap about newspapers, magazines, whatever. Everybody wants stuff right on their phone. And so why not just utilize that? We literally have more opportunity right now to grow a business than ever before. You literally have thousands and thousands and millions of people directly on a phone that you can reach out to at any point in the day. You can literally lay in bed and grow your business. And so why want to do anything else? I respect the question, but that's just kind of like my philosophy, because, thank goodness we don't have to do like 20 years ago where you had to, pay thousands of dollars just to be in the newspaper. You had to go door to door and knock on people's doors. We don't have to worry about that anymore. And so that's pretty awesome, I think. And I don't think it's always going to be this easy. And yes, I said growing a business is easy right now, because in the future, I think with AI and all the platforms controlling virtual reality and all that stuff, I think it's going to be harder to get attention like we can now, because everything will be much more controlled by those platforms. Okay,
the next question's from Laura. How do you create content that gets new clients?
Okay, so I'm going to break down this question. Thank you, Laura, for asking that. I love this question, because so many local businesses think that, okay, I'm going to post new content, I'm going to do these reels, and I'm going to post these photos, and that's going to attract new clients. The only way they can attract new clients is if you're running ads to it. If you're paying for ads to get more people to see it, then yes, that's going to attract new people. But if you're just posting to the same followers over and over again, it's not going to attract new clients. So you're probably thinking, okay, Jake, why should I even post content then if I'm not going to get new clients from it? So the purpose of content is not to attract new clients, is to convert people who see you. And so let's say that somebody hears about you, or let's say they see your paid advertising and they click on your profile. Well, when they go to your profile, they're either going to see one of two things. They're going to see a dead page or crappy content, or they're going to see some really good content that's like, oh, wow, yeah, I was kind of skeptical about this business. I clicked on their ad, and now I see a lot of stuff that actually makes sense. I like it. It's helpful, and it converts them. And so that's why I always say content that converts, because you're not doing content that attracts unless you're using it for ads. You're doing content that converts. So that's the biggest mindset shift you guys got to have is, okay, I'm posting this content to convert the people that are seeing my stuff, not necessarily to attract new viewers. Unless you're like really good at content, you go viral, but most of you are not, no offense. I'm not, so I'm just speaking from, personal experience.
Next one's from Keely. Making reels people want to see.
I would do research on like what are people watching right now, what's going viral, like what are the hooks that are really going to attract them in. That's one way to go about it if you want to go the more entertaining and attraction route. The second route you can go with is think about, like, make a list of all the questions any customers ever had, any objections, any concerns. Make a list of all those. Each one of those things is at least one piece of content. So let's say that for microblading, one of the main concerns is, do you use numbing cream? Does it hurt? Well, you can make a whole video on how you use, specific numbing cream. It doesn't hurt. Most people say it's on a very low pain scale, like you'll barely feel anything, that kind of stuff. And so basically what you're doing is addressing concerns and objections that people have as they are doing their research. So that's the two main ways I would start with that.
And then she asks how to use AI for daily posts.
Okay. So yeah, as you guys have seen, AI is big now. There's a lot of AI tools. So, and just a disclaimer, I own this business, but Beauty Biz AI is what me and most of my clients use. With Beauty Biz AI, you can actually, just like Hootsuite or something, where with Hootsuite, you're going to pay probably hundreds of dollars just to be able to schedule out content. Well, Beauty Biz AI does that and so much more. Like you can run your own ads with just 3 clicks. You can text message marketing, email marketing, all the stuff you need to do to manage a business and grow it. That's what Beauty Biz AI does. So I'm not trying to plug it, but I just plugged it. So if you're interested in that, feel free to send us a message. But yeah, as far as automation goes, I like to get into a content flow. And so, for example, like me and Kylie are filming this video, and then we'll either edit it or send it to our editor. And then we'll say, like, okay, how can we take clips from this and repurpose it? Like let's say we have a longer video. How can I take clips and put that on my stories? How can I take clips and put that on my Reels or Facebook post? And then we have like a flow that we'll do to distribute the content after we make it.
All right, the next question is from Molly. Videos we know are better, 30 seconds or 1 minute? Which one's better?
So she's asking, how long should videos be, basically. It depends on the content. Like, obviously, there's certain restrictions. Like, I think TikTok's like 90 seconds now. Same with Instagram Reels. Don't quote me on that because it always changes. But, yeah, obviously there's certain limits. But, should it be 30 seconds, 15 seconds, a minute? It depends on the content. If you can answer the question quickly, entertainingly, and still have a good call to action in 20 seconds, then 20 seconds there's no need to have filler content is what I'm saying, because people can tell when it's filler content and they're just like, and they swipe away, and that hurts your metrics. If you have a great piece of content that's like, okay, I need at least a minute to explain this, then, explain it how you would to a person. Like right now when I'm looking at the camera, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm talking to a person. I'm pretending like I'm looking in somebody's eyes and I'm explaining something. I'm not trying to artificially inflate a video. I'm not trying to make it artificially longer. I'm just explaining the same way if somebody asked me this in person. So you guys can use the same technique when you're making videos.
So Molly asked another question, or she's it's a challenge for her to get interaction from people. They just don't comment.
I guess the harsh answer is maybe your content's not very engaging, and so maybe take a look and see, like, okay, if I was watching this as a viewer, what would entice me to comment? Like, is there something, are you asking questions to your audience? Are you asking them to engage? Are you saying anything that would kind of spur people to be like, oh, I'm going to comment on that? Or is it just kind of like boring and like there's no reason to comment? And like, comments aren't everything. Like, I've had plenty of videos that didn't get that many comments, but they got a lot of conversions. Like, people would actually, like, learn from it or enjoy it. So comments aren't everything. But yeah, the quickest way to get more comments is to ask people to comment. Like, for you guys, like, I can say, comment below if you think this, or comment below if you've heard of this, and like, just talking with your audience and engaging them like they're a person versus just like talking to a camera. That's the best way.
Are you before and after even important anymore? Or is it all about the artist and the experience?
So I think showing the results of your service, so like basic before and afters, are still very important, because you got to show that, like, hey, I can get this result for this procedure or service. But the problem is everybody overdoes it. They only post before and afters. They only post, like in Permanent Jewelry, they only post pictures of bracelets. And so it's good to have your results and like your end product on there. But the key is variety, like having educational content, having personal content, having explainer videos, having entertaining videos. Like, you have to have more than just before and afters.
And then she says, she's asking, how often should we be posting?
It really depends. Like, a lot of times I have clients who think they need to be posting twice a day or every day because that's what they've been told. Simply not true. Now, if you're someone who just has a ton of content, you love making content, it's like you're one of the rare, like, 5% of people who just really do good and love it, sure, post every day. More power to you. But where I find like the trouble is, or like when things go bad, is when people feel like they have to post every day, but they're not good at posting content. They don't have anything new to post, and then they just start posting garbage content, or I call filler content, and they start recycling old stuff, and then it just becomes like boring, and then like your metrics start going down because people stop watching it. And so if you don't have that many posts, like, I'm sure this applies to most of you, if you don't have that many posts or that much content to post, once or twice a week is perfectly fine, because like I said, you're not going to attract a bunch of new people through your content. You've got to have paid advertising. And so yes, I do want to see some good content on there, but it can still be like, if you post twice a week, that's 8 posts over the past month, and so that's plenty for people to see if they see your profile from an ad.
Okay, well, the next question is from Jane. Does paying for likes and followers really work?
Paying for likes and followers? No, do not pay for likes and followers. One, because it's going to mess up your audience quality. So when I have a client and they're like, okay, Jake, I have a great audience built up, I have lots of followers, I've been posting for years, I'm like, okay, well, maybe we can retarget an ad to all the people that have interacted with your stuff, followed your stuff, for in the past year. And so that's a great strategy. However, if these are all fake followers and fake engagement and stuff, that's just going to, one, waste your money, and two, ruin the opportunity we have with any of the real followers you do have. And so I can't retarget people if it's a bunch of fake followers, because that's going to waste money. The other thing is, followers don't mean anything. I've seen people with 300,000 followers that didn't really have a business, and I've seen people, like, I have 8,000 followers and I have a huge business. And so that doesn't matter. Like, it's really a vanity metric. The other thing is, it's kind of a new thing. It's called the TikTokification of social media. Basically what this means is, like, back in the day, followers did matter more. So like with Instagram, it would show it to a percentage of your followers, like your content. It doesn't really work like that anymore. They started using algorithms that are very similar to TikTok, where you could just have 100 followers on Instagram, but a video could still go viral if TikTok, like the AI algorithm, says, like, okay, this is something that would resonate with people, this is something that people would like, it's going to show it to more accounts. And so it's more about the quality of your content versus how many followers you have.
Should I hire someone to post social media posts for me?
Unless you're like just a big company with multiple employees and it saves you time and that's their full-time job, I don't recommend, just like, for most of you, you're probably solo artists or solo practitioners. I don't recommend hiring someone just to post for you, because think about it, you guys have very limited budgets for marketing, and so why waste a chunk of that on something that literally takes 10 minutes? Like, and when I say 10 minutes, that's just to post on your account. Because think about it, like, if you're what takes up the most time with content? Well, it's coming up with ideas. It's actually filming the content. It's actually creating the content. That's what takes 95% of the time. Just uploading it to Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, like takes minutes. And so why would you hire, and this is what I always see, like, because I used to have clients who would hire these generic marketing agencies who just posted organically, and it's like, okay, so they're either going to post something super generic, like they'd have like these Canva looking templates that were super generic and didn't even like help the business because it wasn't good content, or they would just post something that you guys took the time to create and it takes them 2 minutes to post. So why pay hundreds of dollars for that? Now, if you are a bigger salon or have multiple employees, then you can think about hiring someone like Kylie who actually comes in, films for you, can edit, can manage your content. That is a great role, but most of you are not in the position to hire someone like that quite yet.
Next question. It's kind of long, so. How to stay consistent in the daily work that is needed in order to succeed. I really don't understand what it is that I need to do to make it all happen. I know how to post on Facebook. I know word of mouth helps. I know the algorithms help.
Yeah, basically, like, I call this analysis paralysis. And so you're thinking, like, okay, like, think about this example. Like, let's say there's somebody that wants to go to the gym. Who do you think's more, like, let's say there's two people that know they need to start working out. Now, person one is like, okay, I got to, like, if I want to go to the gym, first, I got to find a gym membership. That means I need to go, like, talk to these people, and it might be awkward, and then they're going to show me around, and it might be stinky in there, and then people might stare at me. And then once I do find a gym that's going to cost me money, now I got to actually, like, find the right workout clothes because I don't want to look bad. Then I got to, like, figure out what exercises to do, and, like, I don't really even know what to do. And then I got to probably need to go on a diet, like, what do I eat? And they overcomplicate everything. Or person B is like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll get a gym membership. I'll get going, I'll get started, and let's just see what happens. Who do you think is more likely to actually go and take action? Person B, because they did what's called clustering. They clustered a bunch of concerns into one basic action. So if you can learn to cluster things and basically simplify things and processes, it's going to make life so much better versus overthinking things. And so I'm curious, and because I see this all the time, who here has a problem overthinking everything? You just feel like you're just overcomplicating it. You have analysis paralysis. Comment below if that's you or used to be you. I would love to see how many people here have that.
All right, next question from Diana. How about keeping clients or securing a return appointment?
Okay, so how do you get repeat customers? So one, it's about the relationship you build with them and the standard you set. And so from the time that they book, you should make the process as seamless as possible. Like, and I've seen this with businesses all the time that I work with. It's like, okay, some businesses, like, they have their stuff together. They send me the forms. They make it very clear, like, what the process is. They make it like, oh, wow, these people have their shit together, basically. And then you got people where it's like, okay, I didn't get a confirmation text. Did the appointment even go through? Like, okay, they don't send me a reminder. They don't send me any kind of instructions. I don't really know what to expect. And those are two huge different experiences. Even if it's the same price, even if it's the same service, two huge different experiences. And so it starts with, what experience am I giving my customer? Like, what experience are they having? And then that's even before they even get there. And then once they get there, make them feel welcome. You know, don't just focus on doing the service and treating them like a transaction. Like, ask them questions about their personal life. Get to know them, like, as much as possible. Like, I know sometimes you guys need, you know, you might not have enough time or something, but at least, you know, be friendly and personable, because, you know, everybody talks about, you know, in marketing, you got to have, you know, you got to meet people's needs or their pain points. Well, what pain points do a lot of people have? Well, a lot of people might be lonely. A lot of people might not have friends. A lot of people might not have much human interaction. So you might be one of the only people they talk to on a deeper level that week or that month. And so it's just like you think about, like, all the old ladies who go to the salon all the time, or the old guys who go to the barber shop every week. Do they really need a haircut? Does anybody really care what their hair looks like? No. But and I say that respectfully, but like you don't need a haircut every week if you're 80 years old, but they do it because it's social interaction. That might be the only social interaction they get all week, and you might be that, you might be meeting one of those needs for people. So create that great customer experience, show them you care, build a great relationship, and that's how you're going to get the repeat customer.
Next question, as a permanent makeup trainer, how to do marketing automation?
Okay, so you're looking to build automations, I'll kind of explain, like Beauty Biz AI is what we use. We have it for trainers. We've really blown up a lot of trainers' businesses in a great way. But I'll kind of explain like some of the concepts behind that. So with automations, you're basically trying to say like, okay, what can I get software to do, or what can I get AI to do so that I don't have to remember to do it myself, so I don't have to do it myself, and it goes out. Because think about for a trainer or a high-ticket service, not everybody, like most people that inquire are either doing their research or they're thinking about a big life-changing career or like a career change, or they're like looking to investing thousands of dollars. And so most people are not just going to inquire and be like, yeah, you're a great salesperson, I'm just going to sign up right now, unless they've already done the research. Most people won't. And so having automations that like maybe send them more information, follow up with them to see if they want to set up a consult, just everything that you should be doing as a good salesperson and as someone who needs to bring people along the sales funnel. A lot of those things can be automated, whether it's text message, email, etc. So I definitely recommend automations for trainers. I think it's almost, unless you just have a full-time sales rep and then automations are cheaper, it's going to be really hard to get more training clients consistently, without those automations.
All right, next is Terry. She has two questions. Best info to include in your social media profile, and the next one is what platform should I advertise on?
Yeah, what's up, Terry? So Terry Berry's a great friend of mine in the permanent jewelry industry, so I want to give her a shout out because me and her did a podcast a few months ago. If you just search Jake Randolph, Terry, Terri, on YouTube, you'll see it. But we talked about a lot of, and this will apply to beauty businesses too, because she's also a permanent makeup artist and esthetician, I believe. She has her own beauty business, and then she added permanent jewelry. But we talked about taxes. We talked about a lot of legal stuff and like things that are very important as far as businesses go. And so definitely check out that podcast. Okay, so for social media profile, whether it's your Instagram bio, Facebook, first thing that I always see people miss is their location. And so, for example, right now we're in Miramar Beach. And so if I had a salon here, the first thing I would put is salon in Miramar Beach or something like that. So that way people know where you're located. Now, I know that you can put your address on like things like Instagram and Facebook, but to be honest, it usually shows up at the bottom, and a lot of people miss that. And so I think having it in big headlines, and that's one thing I've learned as a marketer is nobody reads. Like, you got to say things to people multiple times. Like, look at any politician. A good politician will sit there and repeat the same phrases and say the same crap over and over again because they realize that most people don't listen the first few times, and you got to repeat stuff. And so don't be afraid to repeat important stuff like where you're located, because location's everything. Because if I'm like, okay, this looks like a cool salon, but I don't know where they're located, I'm kind of lazy, just like everybody else. I'm not going to sit there and do tons of research and look you up in Google and everything. I'm just going to move on to the next person I find. It's like, okay, I know this person's 5 minutes from me, so I'm going to go to them. So location's important. I think showing people how you can help them, and so really highlighting like some of the main services you do and the transformation. So instead of just saying I do great facials, maybe talk about like facials that give you the confidence you deserve, something like that, where you're showing a service and a benefit. I think that's cool. But yeah, I think I have a mini class on Instagram bios. If you guys want to check it out, just let me know. So yeah, this is our view right now, looking at the ocean. By the way, I'm actually going to be doing an in-person mastermind down here, probably a small group. So if you're interested in coming down here, hanging on the beach, learning from me, let me know, and I'll get you on the wait list. It'll probably be this fall, but we're going to have multiple ones, so that's going to be fun.
What platform should I advertise on?
Okay. To be honest, I'll start with TikTok. Not because it's the most important, just because that's the first thing. I get a lot of questions, should I advertise on TikTok? I've tried it for multiple businesses, multiple industries. multiple styles of services. I've honestly never had good luck on TikTok ads. I mean, if you've had a different experience and you want to share them, feel free to comment. I've never had good luck with TikTok ads. So my bread and butter, Facebook and Instagram. I think that's always the first place to start because you can quickly reach thousands and thousands of people for as low as like $5 a day, and you can get great content in front of people. Now, if you've been doing Facebook and Instagram ads, you've got some good clientele, you just want to keep scaling up and make sure you're top of mind on everyone, Google ads are awesome. So Google ads is something that we actually offer now. We've had great results with it, and I definitely recommend Google ads as well. But if you had to pick somewhere to start with the Facebook and Instagram. And the reason I say Facebook and Instagram is because they're both owned by Meta, so it's the same platform.
All right, next question is from Alyssa. Are Reels still where it's at, or is it reasonable to upload photos only on business socials and get good engagement?
So I think it's good to have a variety, because here's the thing, Instagram might be pushing one thing, and then the next day they're pushing photos. And so always have a variety of reels, photos, just keep people on their toes guessing. Maybe one day you have a selfie where you're smiling and maybe say something about the business owner, and then maybe the next day you do a reel about an educational reel. I think the key is just yes, you want to have consistent branding and a consistent overall this is what we do type of thing, but have different forms of distribution. So sometimes do photos, sometimes do reels, and just mix it up.
All right. And our last question is from Tammy. I have a lot more followers on my personal pages than my business pages. How can I easily cross-post automatically to all platforms and pages?
Yeah, Tammy, I've had the same thing where I have 5,000 friends on Facebook that are very engaged, and then maybe I don't have as many on TikTok, and so I totally get that. By the way, if you're not using your personal Facebook for business, I think you're missing out. Obviously, everybody has their own personal preference, but to me, if it wasn't for business, I wouldn't even have social media because I don't really care what other people are doing. So I use social media for business. And so yes, I'm going to use my personal Facebook for business too. That doesn't mean everything I post is business. I'll vary it up. Sometimes I'll say something funny. Sometimes I'll do a family photo, and then sometimes I'll say something about business, and I'll have some variety there. But the way you connect them, you can't do your personal profile directly to your Instagram. I guess technically you could, but I don't see the advantage of that. I think you should still make sure that you have posts going on your business page on Facebook. That way, when you're running ads to your business page, even if you don't get a lot of engagement normally on your business page, when you're running ads, people go to your page and see that, okay, she actually does have content. And so I would connect them Instagram business and then Facebook business. And then typically what I do is if I have a really good business post or something from my business page, I'll be okay, this is good enough where I'm also going to share it on my personal profile, and I'll just manually do that. Awesome. Well, hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope the audio turns out okay because we've been driving through this windy beach town. And let me know, do you like this style of video where we're kind of driving around and just answering questions, or do you like something where I'm just sitting in front of a camera? And then if you have a question, I'm going to try to do these weekly. And so if you have a question you want me to answer, just comment below or send it to us on email, jake@pmumarketer.com, and I'll answer the question for you. Thanks, guys. See you.